In terms of circuits like this, the name may change, but the action remains as brilliant as always. Once Sears Point, once Infineon Raceway, this is Sonoma, and this is the second round of the Grand Prix Legends Series here for Season 3 of 2024. This is a track that today will have a lot of eyes on it after the 5-car battle it was for the victory. Last time out, we were racing, of course, at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, but this second round is proving that there are going to be many challengers to this championship, and that is worth keeping an eye out on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone watching around the world. My name is Jake Sperry. Alongside me in the booth here for this one is Ryan Walker. Daniel Costello is in the director's chair. He is using the cameras provided by Dougie Beard. But to Sonoma, a circuit which is known for its incredible start to the lap in terms of elevation change and that tricky back half of the section where it is all about rhythm and momentum. We'll take a look at our GSRC track guide. That will give us the understanding of what this circuit does.
Welcome to Sonoma Raceway, one of California's most famous road courses. It resides just north of San Francisco. It's been host to a wide variety of styles of racing, including sports cars, Indy cars, motorcycles, and even drag racing. But in recent decades, it's become most well known for holding one of NASCAR's rare road course weekends. For most tracks, this cornucopia would be a stretch, but considering the array of 5 different layouts to choose from, it's quite easy for the circuit to be adapted to any series needs. Most of the layouts clock in at around 2 to 2.5 miles in length and always feature an impressive amount of elevation change. This means many of the corners present the driver with a blind entry or apex. Some of these have a very distinct visual look, making them instantly recognizable. Corners such as the chute and the final hairpin feature street course-like walls surrounding the track, while the carousel is both picturesque and challenging. With few long straights, passing is often considered very difficult, but it rarely leaves races with a lack of action. Mistakes can be easy to make, offering opportunities for the brave. And it's not just the track itself which is tough. The pit entry's narrow path requires precise driving for those looking to make up time and leapfrog their competitors during stops. With more than 40 years of racing under its belt, Sonoma has become a staple for West Coast race fans. And what could be better than a glass of vino on a sunny hillside while the sound of engines echo around you?
Sonoma is the sort of place where you have to be in range to strike, because this is going to be a tall order to find the right overtaking opportunities. Out here on the Cup layout, Ryan, this is going to mean we don't take that long run down through the carousel. Instead, we go down the hill a little bit further, take turn 4A, and rush over to turn 7, which is going to be the key place today to find passes out here on track.
Yeah, absolutely. This fantastic Sonoma Raceway track, it's one of my favourites on the iRacing service. It's hosted a load of different series, from the SCCA, the club racing, to, yeah, like we say, NASCAR has raced here in the past, the IMSA has raced here in the past, and this layout, for me, is one of the best. It's a great track, but passing around here is going to be really difficult. The only opportunity I can sense to pass around here is going to be into that turn 11 hairpin, because basically if you get a great run on the exit of 10, you can make a move, but you've got to be fully alongside. But apart from that, passing around here is going to be difficult, and I think it's going to take a matter of drivers slipping up around this 1.99 mile track. And yeah, as it says, 10 turns around here, and I think with these Lotus 49s, I think the race is going to be a good one.
I think it will. If the first round of the championship was anything to go by, we had a cracker to go and work with to start this season off. And you do get the sense here with this driver's standings that every round and result is going to matter overall. Jorge Nieva finds himself on top with 60 points in the back pocket. Togo Hesada right behind him, 5 points adrift, with Jack David Spickett and Nicola Koki third and fourth. Kevin Verbruggen will be in fifth position after the opening round, with Oye Zamayoa in sixth position. Nice to see Sebastian Tixier back in seventh, with Bob Woodhouse in eighth place. Marco Antonio Lopez in ninth, and Kevin Parrish rounding out the top 10 of the F1 standings. This is determined by their iRacing who's in what standing here, Ryan. F2 also looking quite interesting.
Absolutely, it's still really close in the F2 Championship, with Kurt Clapper currently leading the way, with Thomas Tuba only 6 points behind, and then you've got Thomas Willershausen in third, 8 points further back, and then you've got Jan Stefan in fourth, with Jonathan Jourdain in fifth, and then Roberto Pangrazzi sixth, and then seventh you've got Arnold Koch, and then eighth you've got Timothy Porter, ninth is John Van Dorn, and then you've got Mats London rounding out the top 10, and at the moment it's still all to play for in the top 10, still relatively close together, 2 rounds into the championship, and they've still got a long way to go, so anything can play out.
It is, of course, best 10 of 12. As we look at the Cup of Nations, Spain, of course, no surprises, on top ahead of Japan. The United Kingdom move up into third position, with Italy and the Netherlands fourth and fifth. Singapore move sixth position, with the United States and Slovakia seventh and eighth. Germany find themselves in ninth, 29 points adrift, with Sweden rounding out the top 10 already, 30 points adrift after just the opening rounds worth of racing. But what are we racing with here today, and what do these drivers have to deal with in terms of their challenge? That's the next important question that needs to be asked. It's round 2 of 12 here, and Ryan, this is going to be what every race will be like for the season.
Yep, absolutely. So the race details, as you see on the screen, this is the second round of the 12-round championship. The race length for today will be 28 laps. 28 laps around here will probably feel like an eternity. And the setups, as you can see, are open setups, so you can make any changes that you want to make to the setup. And as it says as well, no spare car, so you don't have a fast repair. If you crash out and you have a big one, that's your race pretty much done. And the drive is a drive-through penalty for 17x. So if you go over that incident limit, you will get a drive-through. And the disqualification at 25x. So yeah, around here you probably think you don't get a lot of off tracks, but yeah, it's really easy to maybe have contact with another car, just because the track is so tight in places.
It is. This is a narrower style circuit to what we have seen. Qualifying laps are coming through at this moment in time. Currently, one driver who's yet to set a time is Jack David Spickett, JDS in the number 7 machine. He's one to definitely keep an eye out on. He's making his charge to the line, and of course it's only a 73-second lap. JDS has just gone 6th fastest. We'll take a little bit of a look further back. This is Jorge Nieva looking to improve on his fastest time currently. He's on a 12.9 at this stage, and that is a 12.8. Perfectly done, and setting an example this season. The eternal bridesmaid of the Grand Prix legends is suddenly coming out with this season with a full amount of fire, but this driver might be able to stop it here, Ryan. Togo Hesada, not if he runs that deep through at turn 11.
Yeah, Togo Hesada, he kind of messed up the entry into the hairpin, and they compromised his exit, but he gets sideways coming across the line. What's it going to be? A 12? That's a, wow, what a lap from Hesada, a 12.881.
He threw the kitchen sink at that lap, and he has stolen pole at the moment by 15 thousandths of a second. But what can JDS do in the final 30 seconds here of qualifying? Turn 11, Gilligan's Island, 180-degree right-hander, very much a case of two different styles. You can hug the curb on the inside, or you can do what JDS just did there. Diamond off the apex, attack off of the exit, sliding it about, trying to find the lap. 13.12. He will find the second row of the grid there with a wild end to the lap, trying to get it all slowed up. Brilliant stuff in qualifying, and the grid then will stack up as follows here at Sonoma. Togo Hisada on pole position with a 1:12.881. We'll have the championship leader Jorge Nieva alongside for company on that front row. JDS, Jack David Spickett, will line up third ahead of Sebastian Tixier with Nicola Cocchi in fifth and Kevin Verbruggen in sixth position. Heike 360 ES, Xavier Sanchez will start from seventh along with Marco Antonio Lopez with Bob Woodhouse in ninth and Steve Morris rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Gary Ho starts in 11th with 12th going to Suzuki Tashima in 12th with David Rossi in 13th with Michael Grinziger in 14th, and you've got Benjamin Zocco 15th with Roberto Pangrazi in 16th. 17th is Kurt Klapper with Jan Stefan in 18th, Bjorn Ackerman in 19th, and rounding out the 20 is Juan Rodriguez.
Connor Tolman will find himself in the blackjack position at 21st, and it's two little ducks for Matthew Maudsley in 22nd. You've got Cam Porter and Robert Plumley on row 12 with Alan Graham and Andres Bruno, Jonathan Jourdain and Juan Jose Suarez, the last driver to set times, leaving Jason Clapper, Alex Krapser, Thomas Tuber, Thomas Willershausen, and Adam Lambert, the drivers who will be split by their iRacing here today, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for how they have qualified. They will understand that this is a tough challenge, and maybe starting at the back will give them an opportunity to pick their way through the field around a very technical opening sector to this lap. Take a look at the conditions. 100 Fahrenheit at the moment and very blustery at the moment. 16-mile-an-hour winds from the southwest is going to be causing a little bit of havoc for the drivers up over the top of a couple of these hills. They will have to keep an eye out on where their braking markers need to be, but this is an all-important showdown early in the season. We talk about form as only being temporary, but if you can build up good early form, you might not need as much good form in the second half of this season. 28 laps then here from Sonoma. Lights on, and let's get ourselves ready. Lights out, and we are underway. A slow start from Jack David Spickett. He bogged down. What a start by Jorge Nieva, immediately jumping into the race lead, up past the point and up to Cougar Mountain here. Turn 2, out on the circuit. Hisada covers off Seb Tixier as they go through. Big drama in the middle of the pack. Steve Morris missing front left.
Yeah, that was a big incident there, and I think I don't know if Maurice got caught out there with the traffic bunching up into turn 1, or basically turn 1 and turn 2 there. But that was a big accident. But apart from that, everyone's been relatively clear at the moment. And Jack David Spickett, he went to get off the line, but he just bogged down. So I don't know if he didn't give it enough revs off the line, or if it was just maybe just shifted up into second gear too early.
Well, revs is one thing. He might have been scared of a jump start. That might have been another reason why he didn't get off the line. Xavier Sanchez, 8th position right now. He's trying to give some chase. He's dropped one off the start to Bob Woodhouse, who's had a good start. He's up 2 at the moment into 7th position, rushing through turn 10, heading to turn 11, Gilligan's Island, the place where overtaking is at its central. Here as they go through, at the moment you would say it's 5 clear at the front like it was last week. Kevin Verbruggen, the bridge between the divide at this point, will desperately need to stay within 1.5 seconds over the course of this lap. And Steve pretty much finding the apology there. I think he had some contact there with Marco Antonio Lopez. That's what brought it together. But this opening lap, really crucial. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. JDS on the back in 5th. Yep.
So, yeah, it's the pack is starting to break up ever so slightly. But as you look at JDS at the moment, he's pretty much he's pretty much on a recovery drive now. Still in contention for a podium at the moment as it stands, but he's got to try and get by. Get by Nicola Cocchi. It looks like we've got a replay coming up of the incident.
So this is what happened off the start. Steve Morris in the number 14 machine. You can see 3 wides they went through. A small tangle of wheels. Around goes Marco Antonio Lopez, and then he just gets collected straight back through. Front left gets demolished, and Steve Morris finds himself in the barriers and out after just 1 corner's worth of racing down through the hairpin right now, and it is Jorge Nieva who's got that lead at the moment, but everybody distant apart at the moment, and I would say we got a group all the way back to said Marco Antonio Lopez. Top 12, I would say, are fighting for 3 spots on the podium, which means we're going to get 9 bridesmaids here in this race.
Absolutely, and as they come up through turn 2, we're currently looking at Xavier Sanchez in 8th position. Sanchez, a really quick driver of this Lotus 49, and if he senses an opportunity, most of the time it's always guaranteed he'll make a move. But as you come down to turn 4A and turn 7A, or basically, sorry, I was getting it wrong there. But yeah, Sanchez is a quick driver, and I think don't be surprised if he makes progress through the field. And just in front of him, as you see, you've got the Woodhouse in front of him as we head through the S's.
What I would say is that Xavier Sanchez is the sort of driver who does improve as the race goes on. He's a slow starter, but at the end of the races, he is lightning fast, and he can find a way through where other drivers maybe can't do, as he now attacks turn 10 and looks for turn 11. Slight pivot over there from Bob Woodhouse, but that's just the natural line to take, because if you follow it directly straight along from 10 to 11, you'll be straight into the pits on the outside, which is a very long trek to go through, so some drivers are definitely not going to want it. Fastest lap in the back pocket then for Togo Hesada, 1:12.9. That's Juan Rodriguez leaving the pits, but this is an important stage of the race, these early laps, 28 of them, of course. So you're trying to break this up here, Ryan, would you say, as a driver, into a game of 7s?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also as well, with it being a 28 lap race, it's one of those things that you might see some drivers start to settle into a rhythm and just do their own thing. You might see other drivers maybe trying to make moves early and just trying to get through the field as quickly as possible. But yeah, at the moment...
mistake from Yeva!
Neva's made a
Race
mistake.
leader off the road through the S's, and Togo Hesada and Sebastian Teixeira are going to jump now up into the race lead. Yeva's got to serve the slowdown, and he'll get back up to speed. He'll be behind Nicola Cocchi, and now in 4th position. And wow, a little bit of a slide from Togo Hesada brings Teixeira side by side. Japan versus Singapore here, as they now charge through at Gilligan's Island's hairpin, and just like that, Teixeira finds himself in 2nd, couldn't quite open it up to Togo.
Absolutely, and yeah, fantastic scrap between these two drivers. We know how quick Teixeira can be as well, and we know how aggressive Hesada can be, as Teixeira gets a bit of a wobble. Oh, what's it? Teixeira's around.
Contact there with Nicola Cocchi. Teixeira overshot it through turn 2. Cocchi dived for the inside, and 2 into 1 just didn't go, and just like that, Teixeira finds himself miles back here behind Sanchez, and round in the grass is Adam Lambert, the lap traffic too, out of the way of everyone. So a dramatic start to this race here on lap 4, lap 5. Suddenly Hesada is clear, and it's Nicola Cocchi who is sliding about everywhere. I wonder if he had contact with Lambert, and that's why he's struggling. No, he's okay. He's just struggling on the tyres, it seems, at the moment through the S's.
And that's the thing with these cars, Jake. If you slide the car around too much, you can overheat the tyres, so you've got to be very careful. If you slide the tyres too much, you're pretty much in for pretty much a fun time. But I was about to say, Teixeira just overshot the entry of turn 2 ever so slightly, and I think it might have it ran him wide a little bit, and it just allowed the car behind him maybe not to make a move, but just maybe being caught blindsided possibly.
Well, he was always trying to pick up the run off the exit here at this corner a lap ago. Get the drive off and rush forward. It's so easy to do. It's an off-camber corner up at turn 2. So easy to just plant the power if you're on that outside track. But that's where Nicola Cocchi got it absolutely perfectly put into play. I think we're going to get here, yes, a GSRC replay of what happened there. Firstly, with Jorge Nieva. Secondly, I think we're going to get one with Sebastian Teixeira. So Nieva just doesn't turn. The car just never goes.
Yeah, Nieva just missed his turning slightly, and I don't know if that was maybe... It just looked like the front end never responded, and it just ploughed straight on. So that was a bit of a weird one. But it is an easy mistake to make around these S's, because you've got to be so precise with your turning and your corner entry. One slip up through there and it can bite you, and unfortunately Nieva found it out. But further back, we're looking at the 10th place battle with Shunsuke Tashima. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Yep, and you got Benjamin Shoko down the inside of Shunsuke Tashima, and that is a lovely, easy pass being done there as that gets sorted. I think we're going to get another replay here, and this would be Tixier's huge moment with Nicola Cocchi. You're going to see this one chasing up the hill to Cougar Mountain, and on the brakes, little bit of a wiggle, opens up. Cocchi tries to slide for the inside, he's never truly there, and for Sebastian Tixier, that's just the case of not being alert. He was in the middle of the road, but you have to say Nicola Cocchi was a little bit aggressive there around the circuit going into turn 2. He thought, oh, a chance, and then the eyes were a little bit bigger than the belly, you'd thought.
Yeah, that was a bit ambitious from the coach there. Just, I think he probably, I don't know if he meant to go for a move. Maybe he just wanted to try and show his nose up the inside and maybe try and get alongside. But yeah, that was a bit over ambitious. But look at the battle for fourth. Looking at JDS, Jack David Spickett, after that a bit of a messy start off the line, is currently running in fourth and not just right behind Jorge Hineva as well, who's ended up falling back to third after that mistake through the S's. But yeah, still a long way to go, and anything can happen.
Well, and it usually does when it goes to motorsport, and we've seen that in the early going. Sebastian Tixier, full of fire at this moment, now has the fastest lap of the race, a 1:12.7. He's about to catch the back of Xavier Sanchez and Bob Woodhouse. At this point, we focus with Kevin Verbruggen, who is the perfect definition, Ryan, of a driver who has gone through the Grand Prix Legends Series and has developed every single time he has stepped in a car. A former F2 champion now, racing at the front of the field with some of the best that the Lotus 49 has to offer.
Absolutely, and Kevin's been one of those drivers that's really impressed me. I remember when he first joined the series, he was probably round about top 15 pace, top 20 pace, and just basically the more he's raced this car, the quicker and the quicker he's got, and he's really progressed well in the series, and it's good to see him running up there inside the top 5 at the moment. And yeah, I think as the season goes on, don't be surprised if he's up there challenging for podiums and maybe a cheeky race win.
As we focus down a little bit further in this pack, every race is important, and especially for Cam Porter at this moment. 20th position right now, gained 3 so far, has Connor Tolman just in front with Robert Plumley, Jan Stefan and Bjorn Ackermann, who is there, another former F2 champion. Jason Clapper and Matthew Maudsley are behind, but in the middle of this pack racing, really important around Sonoma, one of the most unique circuits as well that can provide every style of racing out there, including NHRA drag strip racing.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, as you still look at Porter at the moment, they currently just basically inside the top 20, and yeah, Cam's always been a decent driver. He's always been there and thereabouts when it comes to getting good results as he's under pressure. And they pretty much stuck in a bit of a pack at the moment. And it was like I was saying before, Jake, passing around here is very difficult, and it's pretty much it's down to the driver in front making a mistake.
Every driver will look, and now Tixier's got his focus forward. So too has Nieva, but Sebastian Tixier is hoping, can he find a way past Xavier Sanchez? Can he find a pass on Bob Woodhouse? Watch out at Jorge Nieva at the moment. He is looking absolutely aggressive at this point, to a level I haven't seen in a little while, as he's trying to open up every opportunity for a move. He had to lift out of it with Steve Morris just coming out of the pits there after his lap 1 dramas. But Nicola Cocchi is having to look backwards in the mirror, and every lap now it's a couple of tenths of a second away from Togo Hesada, who leads this race, which is meaning that these drivers are looking more at a podium the more that this race goes on. Lap 10 here of 28.
Yep, and as the drivers come through 4A and 7A at the moment, I think Nieva will definitely be fired up after that mistake by him through the S's. And I think he knows that he basically just made a slip up there and crawling over that curb there. And I think if he wants to try and make a move on the Kochi, he's got to be closer through the S's and try and get a great run on the exit of the S's, heading down to turn 11. But as a ride on board with Seb Tixier as well, heading to the exit of the S's, right behind the Sanchez at the moment as well. Can he try and get close to make a move? It looks like Sanchez is making a move on Woodhouse, heading into turn 11.
The best defence is a good offence, and oh, that could have been tyre bundle central for Sebastian Tixier. He had to be so alert. He was so narrow as he went through. I think he may have just clipped it through. Woodhouse is going to lose that position, but you're all there. And look at Tixier, straight on at the opening section. He does have damage to the front of his car, and I think that car is walking wounded here. He doesn't have the black and orange mechanical flag, but it's not right, and you definitely have to say it's the contact with the barriers that has made that happen. That tyre bundle has completely imploded the front.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jake, it looks like when he clipped the tyres, you might have got front nose damage as well. And yeah, I think Seb's just trying a little bit too hard there to try and make a move and try and keep up with both these cars in front of him, Sanchez and Woodhouse. But I think on the other hand as well, he was just too distracted looking at the rear of Sanchez, and just basically, I think at mid-corner it might have just made him lose his focus.
This is going to be one of the races in this season, Ryan, though, that Sebastian Tixier is going to have to be judged on. You are not judged on your race-winning performances. You're judged when you have to rely on the B game and the C game, and that's exactly where he is at the moment, in his C game.
Yeah, indeed. I think, also as well, I think Seb's not been racing for quite some time, because I believe he was out due to medical or health reasons, I believe. So maybe just feeling a little bit race rusty with this car, and I think it's maybe just showing a little bit, but he's still up there in the top 10 nevertheless.
God, you gotta love the rig that Gary Ho has got right now. Full motion, Lotus 49 steering wheel, VR, and look at how much he is having to fight the car down the hill. Look, see how much the rig is actually pitching in the brakes, and over the bumps and the curbs at 4A. You can really sense he's struggling. And talk about a little bit of understanding of this car. Not necessarily the fastest way to do it in terms of sim gear, but this is what you love out of sim racing right now, Ryan. A H-pattern shifter.
Yeah, absolutely. And H-pattern shifter, I've tried it with the Lotus 49, and it's good fun, but it can be a bit difficult sometimes, because sometimes you'll miss a shift, or when you come to downshift, it can be easy to blow your engine. But it looks like we've got a replay coming up.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way, and we're going to see it right now here on the Global Sim Racing channel. This is how Tixier got all of that damage that had put himself in a bit of trouble, trying to get as narrow as possible off the exit, and bang, there's the hit, small hit, and it's all you need really to show the damage is out there. That is one that is going to cost him in terms of time on this straight. Togo Hesada right now 2.4 seconds clear of Nicola Cocchi in second position overall, and all Nicola Cocchi can see right now is the disappearing Ford DFV Cosworth engine there on the Honda branded Lotus 49.
Yep, and Hesada's doing what he needs to do at the moment. He's not overdriving or pushing too much. He's just kind of just doing his thing and just trying to maintain that gap, the gap to around about 2.8 to 3 seconds roundabout. So Hesada's definitely doing the job, just slowly pulling that gap out, but that gap's fallen down to about 2.5 seconds. But I think it's just, again, Hesada just maintaining that gap. But yeah, Cocchi under pressure from the Eva, and the Eva's still not being able to do anything to try and make a move or even close up to the back of him.
Yeah, and that progress is going to be rather important for Jorge Nieva. He would love to get into second. It would be the perfect damage limitation. It would mean he'd go even on points out of today here at Sonoma and over to the Nordschleife 1 week from today. So that's in the back of the mind of everyone, that it is going to get a lot harder next week. There's Kevin Verbruggen in 5th position. He's making some good progress. As too, has to be noted, Benjamin Shoko up 6 places on that last lap, dispatched of Marco Antonio Lopez.
Yep, so it's been a great run by Benjamin as well. He's always been one of those drivers that he always seems to be more of a race driver. He always seems to make progress as the race goes on, and right now he's inside the top 10 in 9th place, and next car in front of him is Woodhouse, and just behind Zoko as well, still keeping in touch is Salgado behind him. So yeah, Benjamin getting a bit of a twitch on there as they head down to the hairpin, and that hairpin, Jake, as well, under braking, you've got to be so careful, because when you brake, there's a bit of a dip on the track as you brake, so it can make the rear end go a bit sketchy.
And you have to remember as well with this machinery, Ryan, this is the car with possibly the worst brakes in iRacing. This isn't the case where you've got the luxury of carbon fiber brakes and full titanium steel and all the rest of it. You are very much trying to slow this down. It's like strapping a rocket ship to the back of a boat and saying, well, you've only got the waves to slow you down.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's not like say like modern open wheel cars where you've got basically loads of downforce, like basically front wings, rear wings, that sort of thing. It's pretty much just all down to the driver to be super smooth.
Well, this is all about being smooth, and Jason Clapper, who loves starting near the back of the field, is now continuing his charge up. This is him in 19th, trying to find the pass on Robert Plumley, the world of Kinducci, for 18th. This would make it a gain of 11 out there at the moment. Club Northwest trying to find this opportunity to pass with Tolman and Porter in the group behind and Jan Stefan just in front. Every single position will matter at the end of the season, but this is also one of the things why we love this racing, because Jason's always trying to go last to first.
Yeah, I've noticed that quite a lot as well, and he always seems to do a good job of trying to come through the back. Maybe doesn't gain loads of positions like you'd probably see from other drivers, as Plumley runs wide in turn 11, and that gives the Clapper a chance to try and get a run, but he decides to tuck in behind.
Very difficult to get that run out through turn 12. It's very much transfer as well through the point. Turn 1 up Cougar Mountain here at turn number 2 and heading to 3A, 3B. This wonderful left-right chicane which pulls you into the corner here and absolutely spits you out with another off-camber up the hill corner, and that again gives the run his Jason Clapper no confidence to make that chance at turn 4A, which you are allowed to run out as far as you want, provided you don't clatter the wall on the outside. Lap 16 here of 28. Togo Hesada to the tune of 2.7 seconds in front. We focus here with the driver of Jason Clapper, who is hoping that his run forward through the chicanes is going to give him the chance to open up on Robert Plumley, hoping the inside is there. There goes the lunge down to the inside. Robert Plumley running that outside line. He'll get drive off the exit, but he'll run out of time to really make that happen. Brilliantly done. Jason Clapper will have to scrap through the left-handers, but he's got the move.
Yeah, that was a fantastic move by Clapper. He stuck his nose up the inside, but he didn't lunge. He kept it alongside on the exit of the turn 11, got the run, and I think Plumley did try to fight it a little bit, but he knew that Clapper was on the outside and just had a better run and decides to tuck him behind him. But yeah, Clapper up into 18th, and it's again another position on his brilliant drive through the field. But further back up towards the front, we're looking at Tixia, who's caught up to Sanchez, and it looks like Woodhouse actually has fallen back slightly.
Yeah, he certainly has, and so too, you got to remember a lap ago, Jorge Nieves actually made the pass on Nicola Cocchi and's gone up into second position. So there have been changes here, there, and everywhere. Tixier, who has been the driver keeping an eye on that fastest lap, he is forcing Javier Sanchez to run some incredibly fast lap times to keep him at bay. And 8 seconds off the race lead. These two have got pace very comparable to Togo Hesada. In fact, they're 2/10 quicker than the race leader right now.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things as well. Probably Tixier's probably frustrated slightly, knowing that he could have been up there challenging for a podium or even a possible win, but just that mistake by him earlier on, it's just basically dropped him further back and out of contention. And as he's right behind Sanchez as well. Both these drivers, both evenly matched drivers, I would say. And I think Tixier, I think as well, if he gets a chance into turn 11, he'll make a move. But as we've got another GSRC replay coming up.
This will be Jorge Nieves' pass then on Nicola Cocchi for position at Gilligan's Island, turn 11, managing to find a way up the inside, and just about the block pass there, just took away the natural line for Nicola Cocchi. You had to extend out the steering. There's a lot of room to work with down at turn 11, the lowest part of the circuit. So always a chance to find that pass, and that's wonderfully constructed by someone who has got over a decade's worth of sim racing experience, coming from Live for Speed and then over across, of course, into iRacing and all the rest. Connor Tolman is there at the moment. Of course, Grand Prix Legends being huge. There is Tolman in 20th position. Look at these five going at it at the moment for the minor places.
Yeah, absolutely. As they come across the line, and yeah, these 5 cars all close together, and it's not just up at the front you get close racing, it's also further back in the field you get close racing like this. And yeah, it doesn't matter where you look, there's always a battle going on, and that's why I like this series as well, because yeah, you might not be quick and you might be further back in the field, but you've always got someone to race on the same level as you, Jake, and that's why I always like racing in this series when I get a chance, or even calling the series as well.
Connor Tolman trying to get in the mirrors a little bit up over the hill, and now trying to look forward at the moves coming in. Plumley having a search on Jan Stefan for position, not quite there in terms of the pass. Matthew Maudsley on the back of this group as well, looking to give chase, but this is just an insight into what makes this track difficult, because you'd never truly get a chance to rest around this circuit. None of the straights really around here, Ryan, are truly straight for very long. You've only got maybe 100 meters before you're having to put a wheel input in again.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing as well. There's not really many straights for you to have a rest around here. You're always. That's why this track, or this layout, I would say, is physically demanding, because there's not really many straights to have a rest. You're always having to think constantly, and also think about the next corner.
And think about everything that you can. That traffic may start to be a factor very soon for your race leader out there at the moment, Togo Hesada, and that might be the only solace that Jorge Nieves got in the final stages. Tolman we've focused on for over a lap here in terms of how he's needed to get his race in the back pocket, and now that is going to be for him a tall ordeal to find the pass, because everyone's got a bit of slipstream on everyone else. Tixier finally throws one up the inside, and Heike's got nothing for him. Javier Sanchez will lose out the place, and Tixier now up into 6th position.
Yep, so a great move by Sebastian there, and managed to get the move done, and nice clean move. And I wonder if he can try and close that gap up to Verbruggen in front of him, who's still 5th at the moment. And
oh, look at Togo. Look at Togo and what he's having to deal with right now. They're allowed to battle in front of him. He has got Jonathan Jourdain versus Juan Jose Suarez. And look at how it brings Nieva back in. This is what he didn't want. And all of a sudden, look, he's right there. 2 seconds gone in the space of a lap. Straight on goes Juan Jose Suarez. And suddenly Togo's got a race.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I was sure that the gap with Togo and Jorge came right down, and then basically as soon as I saw the traffic, that was why. That's the thing you don't want through the S's, Jake, is catching up to traffic, because otherwise your gap will just evaporate. And
Togo mistake!
Was run wide.
And he's going to have to slide, and Jorge Nieva wakes up. Brilliant stuff. Race lead. He stole it away. Oh, you're going to have to try and fight that one back, Togo. Jorge Nieva. Absolutely brutal stuff on Togo Hesada. That was smash and grab sim racing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Jorge's had for his breakfast, but I would like some of it as well, because he's just absolutely been on a mission, getting back through the field, and he's took the lead from Togo Hesada. Now the question is, can Togo keep with him and try and put Jorge under pressure?
Well, that's going to be the question asked. Nicola Cocky has jumped on the back of this group as well through all the traffic. He's now 3rd. Jack David Spickett and Kevin Verbruggen are now going to try and wake up. Tixier trying to run through the traffic too to get there. But Jorge Nieva leads this race. But you look at Togo Hesada, he is someone who does not go down without a fight. A former champion twice over in this series will want to try and establish that he is still the dominant force when it comes to this race.
Absolutely, and yeah, Jorge Nieva into the lead as they come through the turn 11 hairpin, and in front of them, Jake, they've got more traffic right in front of them. So this battle's not over by any means, but this could play a factor in the battle for the win.
It can do, but I think one at a time, which it is at the moment, might be a bit easier than the conglomeration that they found a little earlier on. So that's what I think is going to be banked on by Nieva, that he can pick off these moves. One here, one there, chasing through 3A, up over the crest at 3B, and down the hill. Look how they squirrel. Corky getting very much in the dry grass out there on the outside. So easy to do. And this is a circuit that when you go off here, you go off big. You don't do small incidents around here as Jason Clapper looks for another.
They look at Clapper as well, up into 16th now, and the next car in front of him. Yeah, I think it'll just be a matter of time before he makes a move. He gets a great run, but just, again, the section's so tight, he can't really do anything.
Yeah, he's going to struggle up here at 3A and try and dive down the hill and find that move maybe at 4, which is again another transfer. That's why turn 7A is going to be important. Can't get much closer than that there to the Ford DFV Cosworth engine there in the back. Jason Clapper can't find the move at 7 as he continues on his charge, looking for everything he possibly can. Watch back for the race lead though. Togo's got the fastest lap, looking at turn 2 for an overtaking opportunity. Everywhere you look, there is something going on right now as Clapper continues to watch.
And right behind this battle as well, Jay, you've got Cocky in front, or not in front, behind in third place, and not too far behind you've got JDS as well. So if anything happens between the top twos, that was a bit of a squeaky bum moment.
The contact. Bjorn Ackerman will not be happy with that as he goes, what on earth happened there? And he will find his race over. He is spouting unhappy on the radio. Now, you don't often hear Bjorn unhappy on the radio there, so that's worth keeping in mind. Togo Hosada, though, 5 laps to go, 0.2 of a second. These two look like they're going to be at it all season long.
Yep, and I thought for a moment there, I thought I was Cocky or JDS getting caught up there, but thankfully it wasn't. Unfortunately, it was Bjorn Ackerman. But again, this battle for the lead, Jake, it's just not going to die down, and I think this is going to go right down to the last lap.
Yeah, I reckon it will as well. I think there's been troubles as well for Michael Grissinger up there at the moment, so he might just be in trouble. Tixier, by the way, has made the pass on Kevin Verbruchen. He's now up into 5th place with that move. There are moves everywhere, but for the race lead, Togo Hosada pretty much Jorge Nieves' shadow up over at 3B, down the hill looking for 4A, and that run, that all-important run that's needed to find one pass. Togo Hosada, who built a 3-second margin almost in this race, now trying to use the traffic as a pick there, can't quite get under as Bruno as his magic bit of kryptonite against the Superman that is Jorge Nieva.
Yeah, I think Hosada was trying to use the traffic to his advantage there, but looking at the background there, you've got Nicola in 3rd place. I think maybe he's just hanging back, playing a waiting game possibly, but again, Hosada's getting closer and closer and closer into turn 11. Can he try and make the move? He can't, but again, maybe just trying to intimidate Nieva, but yeah, this is fantastic stuff.
I just love how narrow Togo's trying to be in comparison to Jorge Nieva. They're trying to get drive off the exit rather than maximising the circuit up the hill at Cougar Mountain once again at turn 2, trying to give the chase here. And Nieva realises that the more that he can slow up Togo Hosada, he'll bring Nicola Cocky into the fight. And when it's 3 racing for the win rather than 2, advantage, believe it or not, is even more in the hands of Jorge Nieva, because what happens when 3rd battles 2nd? Here goes Togo, searching for the move, it's not there.
Yeah, Togo showed his nose there, he was, I thought there was going to be contact through the S's there, but man, this is fantastic stuff, and I don't know whether I should be excited or scared, because there's been a few close calls there right now.
Togo trying to be really clever, pick the run-up off the exit of 7A and try and make the move that way. Has he shown his hand? He'll look to the outside then of Jorge Nieva, and he'll really try and pick off an exit once more. They'll only have 2 laps to go when they cross the line, but any one of these 3 could pick up the victory at the end of this race. Nieva, Hesada, and Koki, these 3 have been lightning fast in this race, and they are looking for a little bit of sanctum at the end of this one here at Sonoma. Down through turn 3A and 3B, as close as you like from Toga up over the crest.
Oh, this is fantastic stuff, and again, yeah, Togo's definitely giving it everything. He's absolutely thrown into every corner now, and yeah, I think it's a top 3 battle for the win now.
Straight down the inside, trying to find it. He won't have drive off the exit. Somehow Nieva holds.
Oh, I thought it was going to be contact between Hesada and Nieva there. That was so close, and yeah, even our director in the background's having loads of fun watching this. And this is a top 3 battle for the win now. But I've just got a feeling, Jake, I don't want it to happen, but I've got a feeling that either these 2 are going to have a big incident,
or they are going to give us one almighty showcase of driving, leaving Gilligan's Island for the penultimate time. Barney the flagman waves in the gantry. That's the white flag lap, and that means we got one left here at Sonoma, up the hill and searching at Cougar Mountain turn 2. Togo Hesada now has to pick and choose the moment against Jorge Nieva, who has been exemplary in defence since taking the race lead away through the lap traffic as a pick. Now down the hill, looking towards turn 4A, and now over towards turn 7A, which is the prime place for Togo to find that move. Not close enough this time, but how does he pick it up? Slightly missed apex there from Jorge Nieva, and that brings Togo into play. Nicola Koki, who looks on here, is going to need these 2 to come together for any hope of a victory here, but through the S's, Togo might have to throw a Hail Mary pass here, and almost a block pass if he wants to get this done. Jorge Nieva through turn 10. Watch out, Gilligan's Island. You're going to have a showcase, but still that gap opens up, and Togo Hesada is too far back to make anything of it as he slides through and tries to get the drive. Jorge Nieva is California dreaming. What a win for him at Sonoma.
Wow, what a battle. That was fantastic stuff between Nieva and Hesada as well, and Koki as well in third. That was I need to brush my brow after that.
That's an incredible result. Gary Ho will come across the line in 11th position. Then Kevin Verbruggen will lose out and finish 7th in all of that. Xavier Sanchez finding a move late then here as all these drivers now start to make that progress over towards the line. Robert Plumley here still has a chance of a move here on Connor Tolman. This is going to be a big one for 16th place. And how sweet is that 16th going to be? Answer is not enough for Robert Plumley. Good driving by Connor Tolman. He will in the end gain 5 places in this race to take that position and drive absolutely wonderfully. The last driver on the lead lap will be Thomas Tuba coming over towards the line as Juan Rodriguez spins, but that pretty much will allow us to go over to our finishing results here from Sonoma Raceway. Absolute smash and grab action from Jorge Nieva. Back-to-back victories, and what incredible driving. 7 tenths in the end over Togo Hesada, who threw what he could at Jorge Nieva, and nothing really stuck. Nicola Koki will end up in 3rd position with, of course, Jack David Spickett in 4th. Sebastian Tixier, will finish off in 5th, with Heike 360 ES getting 6th position with a brilliant move at turn 7 and the S's on the final lap of the race. He managed to find the way through on Kevin Verbruggen, with Bob Woodhouse a very commendable 8th place ahead of Benjamin Shoko and Marco Antonio Lopez rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Gary Ho finishing an exit 11th place with Sunsuke Tashima in 12th, with David Rossi 13th, and then 14th you've got Jason Clapper after starting in 29th place, Cam Porter in 15th, and then Connor Tolman 16th, 17th is Robert Plumley with Matthew Maudsley 18th, and then Thomas Tuba in 19th, and Andreas Bruno in 20th.
Yeah, and over the page, 21st position. These drivers are lapped down or retired. Jonathan Jourdain, Alex Krapser. You've got Alan Graham and Thomas Willerhausen. Juan Rodriguez are lapped down. And then all of the retirees. Juan Jose Suarez, we saw big in terms of his involvement with the race lead. Michael Grissinger out of the race. So too Roberto Pangrazzi. Bjorn Ackermann we saw go out in dramatic fashion. Jan Stepan couldn't find his way through, and nor too could Steve Morris, who had to lose about half the laps in this race, along with Kurt Clapper, and Adam Lambert was unable to get out of lap 4 of this race as his retirement came into view. So a lot of things to discuss coming out then of that race, Ryan. And I think the important thing to feel like is that is a massive missed opportunity for Togo Hesada. He had that under lock and key were it not for Suarez versus Jourdain.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, it looked like you said, Hesada was gone at one point. He had that gap up to about 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds, and then basically just caught a big traffic jam through the S's. And yeah, unfortunately, it gave the Eva an opportunity to get back into the mix, and that as well gave us a fantastic battle for the win.
Yeah, and a fantastic battle we had. We are going to jump in with a couple of drivers to talk to. We're going to have a chat with Nicola Cocchi, who ended up in 3rd position overall today. Nicola, 5th in qualifying, managed to gain the places early and stay right up with the leading drivers out there in this race. But it all sort of kicked off then about lap 7, lap 8. And, of course, you had that move on Sebastian Tixier. Just talk about it from your perspective.
Yeah, guys, can you hear me right?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I was just apologizing to him because I was, it was completely on me. From my perspective, was a close contact because my car didn't even flinch, and but he had a moment like the few meters before the corner. And he was able to going back to the correct line, and at the same time I was coming, on my usual line. But when I saw him closing, I just used probably too much steering, and my car were just like very slowly understeered into his car, and that's how it went. I'm very sorry. It's completely my fault.
Well, for you had to buckle down, get your head down. The opportunity came back to you over the course of the middle of the race. So talk about being with Jorge, with Togo, and just watching those two try and throw everything together. Were you hoping that something would spark and you'd have that way to pick up a couple more positions?
Well, I'm not that competitive anyway. So I was right back watching them, and I wasn't hoping to see something happens between them, but I was ready to react if I saw some car out of shape. And actually it happened quite a few times, but Togo was very skilled, and he was always able to regain control of the car. So I was just I didn't want to do crazy move, because it's easy to do something like that when you see two cars very close battling, but it for me at least never works out. I always prefer to race collected, in control and clean, because everybody can do like crazy stuff, but that's not where you can find good race anyway. But for me, this race was very hard because I was struggling for pace the whole week. Basically, my setup wasn't dialed good enough for me, for my driving style. The car was way too unstable. I had zero traction. I'm sure that you already saw one of my exit of the hairpin. I was kind of 45 degrees, sliding everywhere. So I just I didn't hope to get a podium here, because I knew that there was many drivers faster than me, Seb included, of course, and so it was kind of lucky for me. to get a podium, which makes a little bit up to the previous race where I was kind of unlucky to not get a podium. And so yeah, it went better than expected. But even if I kind of killed Seb, my man.
Nordschleife for next week. How are you feeling about it?
Oh yeah, I didn't race there since ages, and I'm kind of scared. It's one of my favorite track anyway, but with this combo with this car, that track, it's probably the hardest in the whole service basically, and I'm going to take it very easy, not to try anything weird. I don't want to push. I don't want to get inside a wall, anything like that. So I think I will just try to do a laid-back race and try to control my aggressiveness even more than I did today, because there is going to be a death sentence if you just misalign the car or just put the one wheel where you don't have to. And I want to be very precise on my line and just to finish the race.
Well, we hope that you have got a really strong opportunity going forward then when it comes to the Nordschleife there. Of course, Nicola Cocchi joining us then. Third position overall in today's race. We're going to take the chance now to jump over with second position overall, and Togo Hasada. Togo 選手がいましたね。全力を尽くした姿は素晴らしかったです。今日は不運です。
ありがとうございます。Yeah, again, lap traffic is the key for my win 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and today, yeah, there's a mistake from the one lap car, so just not his fault, not our fault. Yeah, he's, of course, he's not to try, ignore the blue flags. Yeah, he just made a mistake, and suddenly, in front of me, there goes a battle. Yeah, and I lost 2 seconds to Jorge and just one lap. So yeah, but that is Sonoma. Sonoma is very narrow and very difficult to overtake. So it's gonna be, any driver have a risk. So yeah, just bad luck for me. But yeah, just change my mind, and the next week is Nordschleife. So my favorite track. So yeah, just there, and I wish take a win in the next week.
Well, you're looking at next week. For those who are wondering what I said you had that one, Togo. It was amazing to see you give your all, but unlucky today. Togo, how important was that race for you? You were second last time out. You were second again here today. It looks like you and Jorge are the top two in this championship going out for it, but everyone is showing that they've got great pace this season. So for you, how important do you think the race today at Sonoma was, and do you see it as a missed opportunity?
Yeah, it just I did not take a victory, in the last season, last 12 weeks. So my last win is just was the Motegi Oval, just 5 months ago. So very very long time I didn't take a win for this series. So this week also have a pace. So in my motivation, and it's my take the victory is always give me momentum, to fight with the championship in the season. So it's really important in points and my mentality. So I wanna I was comfortable with the pace in the mid of the race. So just very suddenly blocking my my range, my confidence in the later of the race. So how should I say? But anyway, I'm really want to win this race. I really want to win the race, every race in every week. So every week is important.
every week's important for you, but you've already alluded to the fact that you love the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and that's coming up next. What is it about the Nordschleife that you have such a great affinity with?
Yep, just I'm really good in memorization, so that's I'm I memorize old corner and old braking. I think it's just important point. I think so that yeah, and I love the I love the section, how flourish very fast this is on the jumping spot and everything. The rhythm is very. I like the rhythm of the Nordschleife, so that's why I love to drive. Yeah, in the Nordschleife.
Well, we wish you the best of luck next week. Togo Hesada, second position here today and threw absolutely everything at it. We'll now get a chance to talk to our winner who's been patiently waiting, Jorge Nieva. Jorge, about halfway in that race, it looked completely over for you. Second position, or third position even at that time. 3 seconds off of the race lead, a little bit of lap traffic, and one chance, one opportunity, and you took it.
I was very lucky with all that traffic, fighting for position, and Togo made a little mistake, and I threw it, and it worked, but it was really hard keeping him behind after that.
Talk about trying to keep him behind, because it looked like he had almost every single tool available to him to try and attack. He made massive lunges down for the inside. He looked to attack you off the exits of corners. It seemed like he had every single question thrown to you, but you just about had every single answer for him.
Yeah, this track is very difficult to overtake, so I was lucky in that way too, because on another track the finish will be different, but here I only needed to keep my line, and it's almost impossible to pass here.
You're 2 for 2 this season. You are starting this season not as what we've seen you in previous, but as the main challenger for this championship out there. The Nordschleife awaits 1 week from today. What will make your preparation different from these first 2 weeks compared to such a massive circuit like the Green Hell?
I know the Nordschleife very well, so I don't think I'll train a lot more than usual, because we have driven there a lot. We all love that track. Well, not all, but almost all of us love that track. So I hope I can make at least a podium, but it would be hard with all the speed that Kevin and other guys are keeping these last weeks.
So there's a lot of drivers who could go out and make that pressure for you. Jorge Nieva, it's a race victory. The floor is yours. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Well, you guys, and I forgot to thank Audrius for not showing the last race, and this time I want to thank him, because with him on track I will not be able to win, so thanks to Audrius.
Well, you got to thank the competition who's not there, who could beat you. Jorge Nieva feeling absolutely buoyant. He is back-to-back on his race victories. Very quickly, we're going to jump down the paddock. Ryan Walker's had a walk down. He's just found Cam Porter.
Yeah, and Cam finished in the 15th place today, and Cam, it looked like a decent race for you, and you were stuck in plenty of battles as well, further back in the field. But how was that race for you, and what did you think of this layout, this Sonoma layout? Did you think it suited the 49?
Well, Sonoma is not necessarily my best track, for sure, so I didn't have high hopes coming into this race, but that was a real thriller of a race. I don't feel like I was stuck behind anyone. They all had the same pace as me. I mean, it was just a matter of just trying to, I don't know, keep hit my marks, stay on the line, and try to pressure someone in front of me into a mistake. Jason Clapper caught me at one point, and I was like, I'm not going to fight him very hard. I just wanted a safe race. I did have some damage on the front end of my car from a very, very minor contact on lap 1. I mean, I don't even know how I got damaged. I didn't even feel the slight damage, not damage, but touch to the car head. But yeah, really thrilling race and a good result for me today.
Yeah, you were talking about with it being difficult to pass around here. Did you think there was many passing opportunities around Sonoma, or was it just a case of just waiting for someone in front or people in front to make a mistake and just take the opportunity when they presented themselves?
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it. It's very difficult to pass on this track because there's not really any long straightaways, and it's just a matter of trying to pressure someone ahead of me into a mistake, like I did with Connor. Connor drove a great race and just made a minor mistake at one point, which gave me my opportunity. I was able to slip through. So shout out to Connor for a good race. We had a good race at Motorsport last week too. So looking forward to more good racing.
And looking ahead to next week as well, heading into the Nordschleife. It's pretty much, it's a great track, but with these 49s, from my experience, it's a tricky car to get on top of around the Nordschleife. Do you think? What's your plan heading into next week? Is it just a case of finishing and just see where you end up?
Well, just try to keep the car on the track. That's really important at the Nürburgring. Just don't crash. That's my number one priority. Just don't crash.
And before we let you go as well, the floor is yours. Anyone that you want to give a thank you or shout out to?
Shout out to my brother Tim, for unfortunately couldn't make the race today. He had some business to take care of. So looking forward to seeing him next week.
Good stuff. And again, congratulations on that top 15 result, Cam. And have fun at the Nordschleife next week.
Thanks. See ya.
Well, there we have it. Cam Porter there having a good drive out there overall. But that is going to bring the curtain down here from the Grand Prix Legend Series from Sonoma here in California. Want to give a massive thanks to the team who's got it done today, from Ryan, from Daniel, and of course from Dougie as well. You can catch all of the amazing equipment that has been used to bring this show over to you, including the music that you can find by June Lalonde, which you can catch, of course, on Bandcamp right now if you head over to the link. Of course, we've got so much amazing sim racing that's coming up for you in the next few days and weeks. So what we're able to do is say, watch what's going to be flying along that ticker. Mark it down in your calendar if you haven't already. You definitely want to join us here with the Global Sim Racing channel. You can follow our socials. You can also go to our website or our merch store for everything that you can possibly look for. It is Jorge Nieva who finds himself on top of the world. 2 wins from 2, but he needed a big assist today to get this done. Togo will realise that this is the one that got away, but he is heading to his most favourite track out there in all of the world, and everybody knows the amount of corners it is, how long it is, how difficult it is. We welcome you to the Green Hell 1 week from today. Race clean, race hard. We'll see you at the Nordschleife.